introductory video, I will share with you how I operate an extremely unique single operator contracting business that I've developed to help me earn a multiple six-figure income for most of the last 30 plus years. This amount of time gives me an uncommon perspective of the business, its trials and tribulations, as well as the joy and sense of accomplishment that comes along with being a self-made business person. The following information isn't theory-based, but rather from the man on the streets. Real experience from the guy that has been there, done that, and has a drawer full of t-shirts. Of course, I don't know where you personally are in your business right now. Maybe you're still employed and you see the kind of money that you're making for the company that you work for, and you're dealing with someone else calling the shots, telling you where, when, and how to do everything. You'd like to get out on your own, but you just wonder if you're going to make it. Can you make enough money? Are you cut out for it? Maybe you're just getting started, been on your own for a little while, and well, things are okay, but just not earning the money that you'd hope for. Or the money comes in too erratically. Or possibly struggling with your marketing that, for some reason, just isn't bringing in calls it should. And maybe you've been in business for years, but you're looking to kick things up a little bit. Or a harsh reality may be that you're suddenly laid off, downsized, or let go from your job for whatever reason. And you need to get working now. Again, it's hard for me to know where you are at this point, but something tells me that you're looking for some answers, and I'm sure I can help you. While I never claim to know it all, I love to learn and strive, and I strive to do so every day. I have been at this for a long time and been very successful at it. I would like to share my knowledge with you. Hey, this is the information I wish I had early in my career. I can show you exactly how to do this for yourself. I can show you how to make the money that you need to make consistently, and show you how to take the time off to enjoy your money and life. So let's go forward with it. Now you might be wondering, what the heck is a contractorpreneur? Well, you're not going to find the word in the dictionary, okay? It's a term that I coined, which is a cross between the words contractor and entrepreneur, obviously. You won't run across many contractorpreneurs, and the distinction is very important. We're a rare breed. Certainly not your average contractor. Not the sloppily dressed dude with stains on his uniform, if a uniform at all. Drives a dirty, unorganized, and unkempt vehicle. Can barely communicate properly. Smells of cigarette smoke or pot, and needs a bath. And if this wasn't enough to complain about, one of the biggest client complaints about contractors like this is the mishandling of money. Stealing deposits without finishing or even starting the job, or running out of money in the middle of the work and needing to ask for more above the original quoted price. I know this is harsh, and I hate that my chosen industry is like that, but it's a reality, unfortunately. Hang out in the morning at a Home Depot or a Lowe's sometimes and just see what I'm talking about, or read reviews online about contractors. You will see the reality and expanse of the problem. The contractpreneur contractor is a well-kept, neatly dressed, well-spoken, friendly, and knowledgeable home and office service provider that clients see immediately. There's just something different about it. I created the Contractpreneur business model to help change the perception of contractors and to show you exactly how a single operator contractor with home and office repair and service skills can predictably make a six-figure plus income at the level of your choice, be respected in your field, and take plenty of time off to enjoy your life. And by utilizing subcontracted partners to help in critical areas, not have the headaches, expense, and heartache of employees. You see, in my view, my business is all about how much money I'm able to make and keep for myself and my family, and the amount of time off I can take to enjoy it. I make an incredible living through this model. I'm so proud of it. I never work a weekend, unless I choose to, and I take 6 weeks of high-end vacation every year. Doing the same thing for yourself is simply about making decisions. Deciding what is important to you as far as your time and money goals and making that happen. It's all about what works for you. In my course, I'll show you how to do that in great detail. The Contractorpreneur Successful Small Service Contracting Business Model works seamlessly in most small contracting businesses, and I can help you get your business started the right way or help you jumpstart your existing business. Now, whether you're a handyman, a painter, plumber, a house cleaner, an electrician, an HVAC person, window washer, or even a carpenter, any small service contracting business, it doesn't matter. The basics are the same, but there are specific things that you must know and do to make your business successful and easy to run and manage, to keep it from becoming a time and effort nightmare. Again, there's a good deal of negativity towards contractors. The industry tends to attract fly-by-night people that take advantage of their clients only to just go on to the next client and repeat the cycle, stealing money and doing unprofessional work by unscrupulous would-be contractors have put a black mark on our wonderful industry. This makes it hard on all of us for sure. Because of this, new clients tend to approach contractors with an air of suspicion. A contractorpreneur, trained contractor, quickly overcomes this. The contractorpreneur is the elite among service and repair contractors. He or she knows that the super important first impressions makes or breaks the new relationship and works hard to be sure the first few initial meetings and the new client are perfect and impressive. It's not rocket science, but way too often missed. I'm going to show you how to nail this every time. I'll show you how your new clients will instantly know that you're one of the good guys. Now, while it would seem a contractor would naturally be an entrepreneur, and it isn't so most of the time in the contracting world. Over 85% of contractors in the world have no formal training on the business side. At some point, they've acquired the skills to perform their work, and many times are exceptionally good at their trade. Through their experience, they become skilled tradesmen, but not a skilled business person. There are many scenarios how people end up in the contracting business without business training. Sometimes the course of life simply forces the skilled tradesman to go into the contracting business. Sudden unemployment due to layoffs and downsizing throughout the world have put many skilled tradesmen into the contracting business just to support their families, but with little to no training on the business side of contracting. Other times, the skilled tradesman was employed by someone else in the contracting business, saw the amount of money they were bringing in for that company, and just arbitrarily decided that, hey, I can do this as good as my boss, thinking, I'm sick of making all this money for the company. Well, I get a small paycheck in comparison. And they go out on their own. And this is what the famous book, The E-Myth, by Michael Gerber explained in great detail. The E stands for entrepreneur. Michael teaches that the budding entrepreneur starts his business and knows how to do the skilled work and is quite good at it, but suddenly realizes he underestimated the time and effort of what needs to be done on the business side. The day-to-day knowledge of the financials, customer service, scheduling, and service vehicle management isn't there. They never learned that. A large gap exists between the skilled tradesman and the skilled businessman. Contractorpreneur training closes that gap forever. Many times it isn't until a skilled tradesman makes many financial mistakes in his work, sometimes for years, only to realize there's little to show for all the hard work and effort. It happens. You are busy making a living. You're great at performing the work, and that part of the equation always seems to go smooth for you. But you're not making enough money. And when the money does come in, it just isn't consistent enough. You can't seem to get enough work coming in to make ends meet. You're always struggling to pay bills, and it just stresses you out constantly. Possibly not getting the respect from your family or friends due to not being able to bring in enough money, enough cash to run things properly, because again, way too often your paycheck is not nearly enough, sometimes non-existent. It's terrible to get to the end of the week and, well, after paying the bills, you don't have enough left for your paycheck. All the while, you're physically killing yourself at work. These problems are all very real, and this happens constantly in the service contracting business. I will show you how to never be in this position again. I'll show you how to flip this situation around. I'll show you how to be profitable every time you perform your work. How to have more demand service calls for your expertise than you have time for, which, guess what, lets you pick and choose the best, highest paying jobs, the best margin jobs. How to be the contractor everyone respects and wonders, how can you do so well and be such a small business? But first, bear with me. Let me tell you my short story here about how this came about in my life. I want you to know that I have come up in the trenches. I've paid the price to learn what I will show you to be the best ways to start and operate your own business. None of this was handed to me. I learned everything by myself. I just kept at it, kept going. There was no one to help me develop my business. And I was on my own in more ways than one. My story and my business struggles don't have to be yours. The answers to your questions and the guidelines to a smooth transition to business ownership of your own are available to you in the Contractorpreneur Successful Small Service Contracting Business Training. All right, back to my beginnings. It was the early 1980s. I'm dating myself, right? I worked in commercial construction and I loved the work. I had developed a natural talent for repairing and building things by watching and helping my dad. He didn't call people to repair his house or cars or tractors. He figured it out himself. I was extremely good at construction and I was making killer money for such a young man just coming up in the trade. Now, I don't know if you remember or if you were even in the workforce in the 80s, but the economy was extremely volatile. It's a lot like this last 2007-2010 economic downturn. And for several years, I kept getting laid off. I'd work for a few months and then I'd be collecting what I called underemployment checks for a few months. Even though I was making good money, obviously my lifestyle and cash flow would go in the tank during the times I was laid off. And I was a single dad with no additional money coming in. And it was critical that my income be steady and predictable. Well, this went on for several years. And you just think it'll get better, right? The economy has to get better eventually. Well, it didn't for a long time. And then 3 weeks before Christmas in 1984, with no notice whatsoever, I got laid off again. By this time, I'd finally had enough of others controlling my future. I was just tired of this whole thing. I'd also started to see a pattern with my employer. They just kind of expected I would be there and ready to start work again at their beck and call. Was I supposed to live like this for the rest of my life? Was my child to grow up thinking that this was a normal way in the work life? No, no way. I decided to take my future in my own hands. I decided to create my own job instead of working for someone else. Now at the time I had a nice used van, my tools, and general home and office repair skills. I let everyone I knew at that time that I was doing small repairs. Small service type repairs, no large or lengthy jobs. And I want you to keep this in the forefront of your mind because it's important. This is one of the basics of the Contractorpreneur Successful Small Service Contracting Business System. You will be looking for small repairs that are quick to accomplish and that pay well. I go more into this later in the series, but at this time, my only goal was to just maintain the same amount of money I was making at my previous job. This was the extent of my business knowledge and my goals at the time. So I needed to just make my bills and feed my son and keep my life together. I was scared to death, but deep down I just knew I would succeed. I had to. I just didn't know how at the time. I knew very little, if anything, about the business of business. And this is where a lot of my problems came in. I would look to others to try to get answers to my questions. The internet was not invented yet, so I couldn't search for that. And even today, that can be a crapshoot. It's hard to determine what is real. I would seek out and question people running their own contracting businesses that seemed successful to me, only to get half answers to my questions, if any answers at all. Since I've always tried to help anyone I possibly could in any way, and that applies to you also, I didn't understand why no one would talk to me. No one would let me in on the secret, so to speak. I had to figure it out by myself. Well, I eventually did find out why they were so close-mouthed. It turns out they were afraid they would train their competition. And guess what? They were right. In fact, this is the reason I started Contractorpreneur. I remember how hard it was to get the answers I needed to questions that would let me move forward in my new business rather than learning from my mistakes. Again, even with the internet today, it's hard to sift through the BS to find out what really works and what's just sales hype. I'm sure you have some of the same questions I had, and I will work hard to get the answers to all your questions. So, back to my story. Yeah, I struggled, but I just kept at it. I learned from my mistakes, and I treated the people who my mistakes affected fairly. I didn't make them pay for my mistakes. My clients started to see things in me that made them keep coming back over and over. And I was just being me. I was honest, communicative, clean-cut, and prompt, knowledgeable, and efficient. I performed the best work I could, and I always continued to try to constantly improve my work and business skills. Again, I love to learn, so the word spread quickly, and in 3 short years, I had a client base of over 1,200 people who called me over and over for repairs and referred me to their friends and family. I had learned how to attract the ideal client, not just any client, and let the rest go. When you attract the ideal client, your life's just easier. And not just your business life. Stressful clients cause you to stress in every aspect of your life because you care about your business and it's a big part of your life. You've heard that the client's always right? Sorry, not true. I learned to recognize when a client wasn't a good fit for me. When their situation would cause me too much stress or their difficult personality didn't fit mine, and ask that they find someone else. And I'll show you how to do this and not make anyone mad. Some of my clients have become great friends, and I'm very proud of that. So anyway, back to my story. At this point, you couldn't tell me anything. Everything I touched was gold. I was on top of my game. I thought, this business thing is easy. I must be a business building genius. No, I'm totally kidding here. All joking aside, I made some huge mistakes. And I got my PhD at the University of Hard Knocks over this next one, believe me. Listening to the few that would talk to me about the contracting business, they said, hey, things are going so well, you should expand. Get more trucks and people working for you. To this day, I don't know why exactly that sounded so great, but it just sounded like a great thing to do at the time. I turned my small, easy to handle and manage, extremely profitable cash machine into a full-fledged contracting company complete with a warehouse, secretary, employees, health insurance, benefits, and migraines. At first, it was all as expected. We were in a cash crunch constantly, but with expansion, you will experience cash flow problems. First thing I did was cut my salary to the bone. The only money I took personally at this time was what was absolutely necessary to keep my lights on and food on the table at my home. Looking back, it was ridiculous, but it seemed right at the time. Hey, I'm just not a quitter. And we pushed through it for several years, and certainly we gained some ground for sure, but we needed more income. That's all there was to it. I needed more calls coming in. So I decided to dump more money into advertising. I learned real quick what the famous marketer David Ogilvy meant when he said, quote, "We know that 50% of our advertising works. We just don't know which 50%, unquote. So there could be a lot of money wasted in advertising if you don't know what and where to spend it. So I threw money at Hope Advertising. Have you heard of Hope Advertising? It's money that you spend on advertising and marketing that you hope like hell that it works. And it sucks. Hope marketing. I tell you, it wasn't ideal for sure. And it didn't cure my problems. I just couldn't get my call volume up enough to overcome the money that I was spending on Hope and the new overhead. Okay, so this is where I should have cut on, right? Nah, I didn't. I'm just being honest. I just kept pushing. And I'll tell you, no one worked harder than I did. And it's not bragging if it's true, right? We're making money, but it all went to overhead and problems that occurred that, I was making less money personally than I ever had, and I worked tons of hours. I went to bed thinking about it. I woke up thinking about it, and I was stressed to the max. And I was strapped to a desk all day. I gained 20 pounds. I went from the service and repair work that I loved and was very good at doing paperwork and putting out fires that my employees started that I personally never would have started. Doesn't it sound like fun? At this time, I found out that 2 of my employees were taking my job leads that I paid dearly for and worked so hard to get. And you probably guessed it, they were offering my clients to do the work on the side. Well, I blew a gasket and I'd had enough of it. You know, I actually called those 2 and thanked them for waking me up. Again, I had enough. I decided to get back to the basics where I was super successful and just stay there. Just depend on myself. Over the years since, I have refined and perfected the Contractorpreneur process. I have created a system of running a small single operator service and repair business using subcontracted help in critical areas and times that is extremely profitable and a joy to run. This business model allows personal and financial freedom of your choice and will allow you to create and secure your own future. I promise to you that my business system shows you exactly how to quickly start and run your own small, low overhead, highly profitable single operator contracting business and not kill yourself doing it. You'll learn how to market and advertise with a combination of the best old school tried and true marketing and advertising tricks and the latest new school online pay-per-click and social media methods that'll make your phone blow up with demand service and repair calls. No longer just throwing money at advertising and hope that it works. Learn the tricks to new school online pay-per-click and social media marketing and advertising that let you turn your business on and off at your leisure for time off or vacations. Ramp your marketing up or down easily depending on the volume of calls you need. I'll teach you how to handle the phones when you're on vacation and still keep your clients happy and waiting for you when you get back. You know, answering the phone just to keep the business rolling on your off time is not being on vacation and enjoying it. You might as well just stay at work. Many contractors do this and they burn out quickly. And it's not necessary at all. You'll learn how to enjoy your vacation and off time and come back to work, and it'd be like you were never gone. You'll learn exactly how to price your work for maximum profit every time you perform your work for a client and have them calling you back over and over and over. I'll show you why you never charge by the hour. You're going to hear that a lot. Learn how to give your client choices and repair levels and pricing that will many times keep them from looking for other quotes for the same work based just on price alone. There's so much more to know that you will learn in the Contractorpreneur Successful Small Service Contracting Training. For example, why you want to reduce your service area for maximum profit and time off rather than expand it. Is it having more clients better? No, not necessarily. Learn how to promote and sell the jobs you love doing the most and are the most profitable, not to have to just take anything that comes in just to meet the bills. Learn how to be the local expert in those favorite jobs. How to promote your services to your happy clients' neighbors for pennies nearly instantly. How to determine the exact price you charge for your work and never worry if you're charging enough to cover your bills and salary. Never again go without a paycheck to support your business and your business bills. How to attract clients that are not just looking for the cheapest price and have them coming back for more and referring you to family and friends. I'll let you in on the way to get paid every time you pull in a client's driveway, even if it's only an estimate. Oh, you never heard of such a thing as getting paid for job quotes and estimates when everyone else is running around doing it for free? Free doesn't work today. With my system, learn how and have your clients love it and gladly expect it. Learn how to have high quality, honest, and hardworking subcontractor partners constantly pursuing you rather than you have to look for them. Learn to easily have all the energy you need and more to run your business. Learn why you want to use your personal name as part of your business name for maximum profit. Learn how once you've been in a client's home, they couldn't possibly forget you, and they will if you don't do this, and it only costs pennies. I'll show you how to build out your service vehicle for maximum efficiency and profit when stocking it with parts. By the way, should you mark up the materials that you provide for your jobs? Oh yeah, you sure should. Any idea what to charge for the markups? I'll show you exactly how to do that. even on retail prices of parts and materials. There's so much more to tell you, but this is getting too lengthy. I go into greater detail of the mechanics of running the business, from advertising for the work to pricing it competitively and confidently once you get in the client's door in upcoming videos. So stay tuned, as they say, but that's it for now. Hey, thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for more Contractorpreneur videos coming up, packed with free information to help you get your business started or even jump started. Please scroll down and leave me a comment. I will be glad to help you in any way I can. And I'll see you in the next video.